to my channel, and thank you so much for joining me. On the 11th of December 2016, that was like literally last month, a nurse got struck off for, in fact, she got sacked for praying for a patient. Also, there was another one that I heard, a nurse started praying rather than doing her CPR on a child, and again got struck off. Now we are going to discuss that because I am a nurse, as you know. I am also a Christian who loves to pray. Prayer is a very important part of my life. Now the question is, do I, Jane Meadows, a nurse, pray for patients or residents because I work in a care home? Yes, I've always prayed, always. When I used to be in the hospital, once I walk in, the first thing I do is say my prayers. And if I see that someone is particularly suffering, I will pray for them. But how do I do it without being struck off? That is what I'm going to discuss. How you can actually, as a nurse, be able to exercise your faith without getting in trouble, without getting struck off, and without losing your job. Because what you're actually doing is a good thing, but if you do it the wrong way, you will get in trouble. And it's very important for us Christians to be able to abide to rules and regulations, abide to policies, and basically respect other people. And I find it quite worrying that all the people who have been in trouble are Christians. Why? I mean, we have other religions, but there are ways to go about it, and this is what I'm going to discuss. So if you're a nurse and you're driven to pray for people, it's wonderful, because I pray for every single person. Even if the devil could actually try and be a little bit good, I might even pray for him or her, don't know. Okay, the reason why you as a nurse is praying for somebody is because you care, you're compassionate, you're loving, and you're basically showing your kindness. Did you also know that prayer is also a part of spiritual care planning? In the case of the nurse I talked about earlier, she didn't get any consent. In fact, she was talking to this patient about God and about praying, and the patient felt really uncomfortable. Now, if you're talking to somebody who doesn't believe in God, about God, they're probably going to be offended by it, especially if you're in a professional environment. You can actually pray for somebody if they've given you the consent. If they've given you their consent, I would actually go ahead and do that, because they are you have to be sure that they are compass mentors and they know what they're talking about. Basically, they have mental capacity to ask for that, and then you can pray for them. Then you can ask them, is this what you would like? I could organize for somebody to support you with this, and then you go and include that in their spirituality or spiritual care planning. This is why in the hospital or in a care homes, you've got vicars or priests or catechists coming to support people with their spirituality. So praying, it's not wrong. It's how we go about it as nurses or healthcare professionals that could be wrong. Spiritual care in nursing is absolutely important. It is very, very crucial. If you go about it the right way, you will not get in trouble at all. So find out what they believe in, first of all. Allow them to initiate that. If, for example, if I'm in a hospital and somebody comes to me and says, would you like to receive Holy Communion every Sunday? I'll be delighted. And it will make me really happy that someone actually cares enough to offer me that. So that's a good spiritual care plan. You have to be very, very sure. But it won't be good if I'm an atheist and I don't even believe in God and you're asking me that. I will feel quite offended. And guys, I know that we're supposed to spread the gospel, but do it in a right way. That is where person-centered care plan comes into play. You cannot speak to somebody about God unless they actually believe in God, unless you've got their consent to talk about it. So guys, I'm sure that some of you who are very well experienced nurses already know this. However, the nurses that got in trouble had several years of experience. Sometimes we don't know these things, but bear it in mind that if you're moved by God to pray for anyone as a nurse or as a healthcare professional, you can actually go ahead and say these prayers, but say it in your heart. Be very, very careful and make sure that you are maintaining choices, you're respecting people's choices, and this is, again, this, like I said before, this is where person-centered care planning comes into play. And also find out when you're doing your spirituality, your spiritual care planning as a nurse, this is where then you get to explore things, find out well in advance what they believe in. And bearing in mind that spiritual care plan doesn't always have to do with religion, and this is why I'm going to explore it very, very soon in my next video, to tell you how to actually do a spiritual care planning without including religion in it, because there are many people out there who are not religious, and we have to love and respect them equally. Okay, I would encourage you to continue to practice spiritual care. Don't be too frightened of losing your job, but what you can do is make sure you do it the right way. Make sure you're abiding to the code of conduct. Make sure that the person you're actually praying for, if you have to pray out loud, well, if you have to pray it out to their hearing, you have to make sure that they've given you the consent and they've got the mental capacity to give you that consent. If they don't, and you feel moved in your heart to pray for somebody, like sometimes I do, what I do is hold their hands and I tilt my head and I smile as I look them into the eyes, and I say prayer in my heart for God to bring them comfort or cure or whatever it is that I'm praying for them, because it's my own way of responding to what they are feeling. It's my way of showing compassion. So pray inwardly and quietly, and it's even said in the Bible that you're praying to God. You don't need to pray it out loud. Keep it in your heart. But sometimes when you say it out loud, when you say it out to the hearing of the person that you're praying for, it brings them comfort. But make sure that they've given you consent and it's what they wanted, and they've got mental capacity for that to happen. Okay, and then you can include that in their spiritual care planning. They like to be prayed for. Why not? It's part of it. Thank you so much for watching my video today, and I hope it has been useful to you. And if it has, I would like you to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. Don't forget the bell next to the subscription, because when you click on that, it means that every time I post out a video, it notifies you. Thank you so much for your support, and I want you to have a wonderful week. Mwah. Thank you. Bye.